Okay, everyone. It's been a little while since I've made a video um, which showcases a lot of these philosophical concepts, such as the soul dynamic and evolutionary astrology. Because in evolutionary astrology, the soul dynamic is pretty much a core foundation belief that uh, when people die, they reincarnate. Okay, but there's not much material that you'll be able to find that clearly, using modern language. Of course, you can go back and look at some of the yoga things, Bhagavad Gita, read all of these books and things like that. Interested in Eastern sounding names, very wonderful stuff. But something more modern, I think, is going to be needed for us to really get down to it. We're really, because this is evolutionary astrology we're talking about. So evolutionary astrology deals with the evolutionary process in the context of astrology. Modern, and then of course transforming it, adding things, concepts, discovering new meanings. Okay, when you're dealing with these kinds of things, these abstract concepts, that's what I like about astrology. So we're going to get into it and see what's going on here with the soul dynamic. We're going to explore some of the various models. For some of you who are very familiar with astrology, you know that there are more than one model. There's Western, Eastern. You got all kinds of things going on. You've got the South America or Mesoamerican beliefs and astrology. Dealing with various different kinds of animals and stuff like that. But we're going to deal with Western, Eastern, which is EA astrology. We're going to deal with that. So let's get into it. We have one model here. Usually that is, let's see here, a soul, right? Boom. We are souls, ultimately. And the symbol for that, I was going to be like the sun. I'm going to draw that in the center, okay? Because that's like the seat of the soul right there. You see, this is the seat of the soul that we're talking about here. So this is the seat of the soul. And the soul's in the center. Out here, you got the little spokes and things like that. That's probably going to be like embodiment of the spirit. It's on the outside. It's sort of it kind of encompassing the soul. It has that ability to be able to. It's like a vehicle, guys. You're sitting in a Gundam wing. You're sitting in a robot. Okay, this is you sitting in a robot and everything like that. These are your sensors. This is your spirit right here. This thing right here sort of radiates outward, and it can actually pick up on things that are going on. Okay, in your vehicle and around your vehicle. That's what the fuck this is. And then, so we're gonna call this a soul, and let's just say it's the oversoul, because a lot of people, we're dealing with oversouls too. I get into a lot of different types of the philosophies that talk about oversouls. Where does the oversoul fit into all of this? Okay, we'll start with that model first. So let's say that which is that the oversoul is like this, pretty much like a big soul. That's why it's called the oversoul. It's lording over all the other little souls, or the lights, or whatever, the flames, right? That are supposedly in astrology are supposed to be like these souls, individual souls. You have one, I have one, everyone has one. Animals, even trees, perhaps bacteria, all those kinds of things. Okay, we have this, or at least that's the theory behind it. But of course, I think it's going to require a little bit of work, a little bit more figuring out and using the left brain. A lot of times we want to go with our feelings and stuff like that, but I think we really need to stick to the logical side when we're exploring some of these possibilities, because this stuff is very abstract. Because look, you got Earth realm here. Earth realm is going to be down here and stuff like that. The souls, are below the oversoul, obviously, because this is a hierarchical system we're talking about, by which all things that are physical seem to be derived from. All things physical seem to fall down, seem to more so descend, like I said, from the greater truth that's up here in the astral, the universe, the cosmos. Okay, the metaphysicals, okay, that's going on up here. So you got the earth realm down here and stuff. For a little globe. Yes, the planet is round. I think our planet is definitely round. The true shape of the planet we probably can't perceive. There really could be other dimensions up here. Areas where creatures, various different types of beings exist, their bodies and things like that, composed of lighter elements that can't be seen by our eyes, much lighter, but yet still tangible to them. That's how this can work. Now, let's go ahead and try to outline that real nicely. Yeah. So yeah, you got the Oversoul up here. This big guy, or gal, or well, it's not either guy or gal. It's just like a compilation of energies, depending on the characteristics of the soul. If it's masculine, it's probably going to be very red or something like that. If it's feminine, it's probably going to be more using of a bluer type of energy or something like that. Okay, we're just dealing with colors, the meanings of it and things like that. Remember, we're not separate from spirit. All of the concepts of colors, all those things that we do here, that's so amazing. People like working with colors and designs and stuff like that. We get that inspiration. It is derived up here and plays out down here. Okay, everything comes down, boom, plays out down here. Okay, Oversoul and stuff like that is a unit of consciousness, is essentially what it is. And these are also apparently units of consciousness as well, derived from the Oversoul. So what's happening is, in this model, the Oversoul is communicating or sending these little souls right here, these little units of itself, down into the darkness, is what it's called, what is the planet. Okay, that's what it's sending them there. Why? To be embodied as people. Yes, to create the bodies for the people. That's what these souls are doing. Helping construct these bodies, and then yes, that is the wonderful people of Earth. We're a little bit crazy right now. We're going through a very tumultuous cycle into the Aquarius age and all of that wonderful transformative stuff that we're going to be experiencing here for the next couple of 100 to 1,000 years. Okay, so that's what's happening. These souls are coming down into the bodies. Okay, the bodies are a product of the earth. The earth is doing this. It's generating trees, it's generating, bodies of water, and all this kind of stuff. And, it's got a whole bunch of behind the scene sort of processes that are happening deep down inside and things like that, and how it ends up nurturing and materializing things through time and the cycles of the moon is how it ends up doing that. Okay, so we got like the moon over here, some shit, perhaps maybe the sun, you know what I'm saying? You'll have that too. Okay, the big sun, the fire and desire, my ruler, my astral ruler in Leo here. Okay, so you got all of that going on. And let's just deal with this Oversoul again. What the hell is the Oversoul doing? Oversoul is the chief, managing the soul. And there are supposed to be many more of these Oversouls, by the way. And they're all scattered throughout the planet, hovering above, doing their work, making sure that their little units are being projected downward into the bodies, as I told you. This one over here is going to be doing it too. A lot of people say these are fractals, is what this is. These are soul fractals. We're basically fractals of the Oversoul in this model. That's what this would suggest. So Oversoul has a spirit, likely a big one. Then you have the same thing going on with the Oversoul, pretty much. Similar, as in that you have, you would therefore have a soul as well. That would make up you. However, there's the collective. There are others who have souls that do embody the traits of this. Okay, and the reason why you may say, why doesn't this thing just come down to one body and have its experience or whatever? Because remember, it has a lot of different traits, a lot of different qualities, this soul, that just is not going to be expressed, individually. It's not going to be expressed as it just being one body. It has so many different things going on, so many different spaces that it can take on, that it can occupy and stuff like that. So it's going to break off the units, bring it down into the bodies. That's how this dynamic works, or that's how in this particular model, this is the dynamic. And as I told you, there are oversouls. There's probably 144,000 oversouls. The Bible talks about 144,000 people. When the rapture come and all that kind of wonderful stuff, scary stuff that happens. It's likely going to be this, the oversouls. It'd be like the 144,000 oversouls was doing this, and then the rapturing would be the returning. That's when you die. It's not going to be like a major event that happens where it's like, ooh, boom, and then like everybody gets fucking wiped out. You know what I'm saying? It's probably not going to be like that. I think there's some truth to the Bible. You just got to pick it apart. You got to pay attention. You got to pay attention when you're doing stuff like this. When you're reading these sorts of things, when you're taking in the material, each word, go through each word, try to get the meaning, and stuff like that. When you're when you're reading a lot of this content, when we're exploring the concept of the soul. Okay, so yes, oversouls, units, the smaller units of consciousness, the fractals, if you will, that we are to this, that in this particular model. It makes a lot of sense to me, but you see, there are issues. There are some issues though with this model as well that I found a bit bothering, and that is that, well, if reincarnation is the factor, and we're being reincarnated, then this really would suggest that we start talking about the polarity and all of these sorts of things, which is the factor that pulls the soul into existence by way of the karma that it has accrued, okay, or accumulated over time. So you got good karma, okay, chances are you're going to be brought into into a situation where this little individual soul here is going to get to experience problems. But see, how is an individual soul per se